guys, LongHaul Larry, and excuse my geez. We're up in the UP doing this UP renovation on this house, and I'm going to be starting on the kitchen and the dining room. Sorry, I got the hiccups something here. First thing I need to do is to place all of the outlets, and I need to get my cutout that's going to be a pass along between the dining room and the kitchen. I am not going to be putting a window in the kitchen. The deal is that the wall is right here, like even with me. That way it's the bathroom. So it's just that little bit of area over there. I know there were some people saying something about a window by the kitchen sink. I just don't have that ability here. I could stick a window over here, but the sink is going to be over here. Then that's going to take away from cabinets and stuff like that. I don't know. I kind of went back and forth about it. I think I'm just going to leave it for now and see how it works out. And if it comes into something that I end up wanting to do, I can do it when I do the outside siding. I can put a frame up a window from the outside and put it in there. I don't think I'm going to, though. I know that a kitchen is like a main meeting area in a lot of houses and stuff like this. This one is not that. You're gonna have your living room and your dining room where you're gonna be pretty much hanging out. This is just gonna be preparing meals and stuff, and that's why we're kind of opening this up to open the room up a bit. And you're not gonna be having a ton of people in there. It's not big. And so it's pretty much just preparing stuff and then maybe passing things through. Maybe you can have a bar stool or something sitting here. Somebody can be, sitting here and talking with somebody in the kitchen or whatever. That's kind of what this is about. So I don't think I'm going to put a window in. That's what I'm trying to get to. We're going to open this up from here to here. So this is going to be the size of the opening. I've already cut off my other frame members, and I'm just going to be laying a 2x4 across there and nailing or screwing that all in. This up here, this is your main load point of the house here, and this needs to be secured. So what we're going to do is I'm actually pulling this piece off. I already cut it through. This 2x4 is this is going to go all through here. Then I'm going to take two new 2x4s and I'm going to turn them on end for support, and they're going to be screwed in here, and they'll be sitting on here, and be going over to that one, and then screw this all back together. That'll give me my support for this opening and make the extra strength. Having two 2x4s on end like that will give it a lot more support. And I will be putting them on one here, one over here, and then I'll be putting a drilling hole in the center for one of those round lights, one of those little puck lights, and I'm going to put one of those in there too, so it kind of shines down on there. I think I got my outlets placed. That's going to be for the stove. There's going to be a small countertop. You can see from this is where the stove ends, the refrigerator ends. I'm going to build a small countertop, probably with a cabinet right here, and there'll be a little counter here. So I got an outlet here. Probably feel like a coffee maker or something. Got an outlet there for the refrigerator. I don't think you guys have seen this yet. This is my own little design here. This is a door that I built to close off the attic. It's all hinged. So the refrigerator rolls into here. And to get up into the attic, you just roll the refrigerator out. It's on wheels. And I got this all sitting up here, and I'm going to put some trim wood across here. But then to get up in there, you just slide this down. And that comes down just like that. It's all framed down with 2x4s, and it's all insulated too. And then this is tar paper staple on top. And then that's your door that gets up into the attic. This is going to be an outlet for the microwave there's going to be a microwave right up here. The stove will be sitting here, and there's a range hood that's going to be on here too. It's going to be sitting over the stove and everything to get rid, you know, smoke or whatever from cooking. And it'll be sitting underneath the counter, the cabinet that I will build for the microwave, and it'll be a 20 amp plug in there. Put an outlet down there just to if you need to plug something in. And then there'll be a light switch here, which I'm going to replace this light with one of those puck lights. So this, just the one right here. And then there'll be 2 light switches here. One will be for those puck lights. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to put 2 puck lights in the kitchen to light it up real good. And then there'll be another switch right here that will control the little light, that's the LED that's going to be in this bar area. And then there'll be another switch here that will control that light. It'd be a three-way switch. So this light switch will turn it off, or that one will turn it off on, whatever. The 2 switches will control the one light. Then we'll be moving into the dining area, and I'll be putting outlets all along through here, and then building the computer workstation over here. I need to build a bunch of reinforcement in here for hanging the monitor on. We'll probably put shelves on here. This outlet will probably go, I might have one up here, but it'll be a little lower. And then I'm going to put probably 4 outlets down there for plugging in computer, monitors, all that stuff. And that's got to go into the ferry room. That's going. And this light switch will contain those. So that's kind of these 2 rooms. I want to get these 2 done, and then the ferry room in here and stuff, there's really not a lot to do with. These lights are going. I'm going to patch that hole, patch those 2 holes. I have already the electricity all hooked up. All the outlets are wired. They're all hooked. And all I'm going to do is put 2 puck lights in here. That will be controlled off of this, which is, this one's a dimmer switch. And it'll have those 2 lights in here. That's really all I got to do in here. And then a couple patches of screw holes and stuff. And I'm getting rid of those ferries. They're driving me nuts. I'm kind of scared. I kind of want to scrape them off and get rid of them, or cut the drywall up. I'm afraid if I just paint over them, they'll actually haunt me. Oh, and then this is going to move too. Taking this out, patching the hole. The dining room table will sit like right here. I'm going to actually put it over here. Mainly because the ceilings are so low in here. I'm 6'3", ceilings are 7 foot. A ceiling light, you just found out, is not good. Can't have it in the center room where I'm walking it. So it'll be just over the table. Kind of where the table's going to sit, just be over there. So that you're not walking directly underneath. So this is my project for tonight. I'm going to try to get all the electricity run. All the lines run. All this stuff has got to go. This is old wiring, and everything is coming out. I'm doing all new wiring. This wire here is for the well. This is a good well wire. It is 220, goes all the way to the box. I just need to move it on the other side of this stud. Drill this up, drop it down, and go through the stud and back onto the well. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, and then I can tear this apart and cut off all this old wiring. I have gotten all this hooked up. You can see the puck lights here. These are those LED plug lights. These things are just awesome. I'm in love with these things, guys. They're just so cool. This is beautiful light for bedroom. It's not over the bed, so it's not blinding if you get up and somebody else is sleeping, and not blinding with the light right over the bed. And you know, the bed will sit right here, so they're kind of at the bed, and you got dressers and stuff over there. So it lights that up, and then you have an outlet over here. And that's Tracy's special outlet. She bought this. This one said it had to be installed on her side. I don't know, whatever. I guess people have sides. But it's a night light, and it has USB plugs on the side. so that way she can hook up her phone, I guess. And the laundry room is all wired. Still gotta put the floor down in here. Puck lights in here, it's good. All the outlets are working. Got my vents in for the dryer. Got the 220 ounce all hooked up, and it's on and live. It's tested, everything is good. So we're getting there, we're moving along. Well, there we go, guys. We got our water pump wire ran down through. Got that out of the way, and I got this all framed out. And that's the size of the opening that's going to be going into the kitchen. Kind of looks like a big screen TV or something. You get to sit here and watch somebody in the kitchen. But yeah, it came out pretty good. It's the one square hole, one square thing in the house, I think. Everything is square there. Well, guys, we're almost ready for drywall. Got them all wiring laid out, all my outlets. I was counting this up. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 outlets in this little room that's like 7 by 12. That's a lot of outlets. But it's all wired, ready to for drywall. And I'm just insulating this wall right here right now. It's the only wall that's an outside wall. It's only a partial outside wall, but I'm insulating the whole thing. Main reason why is because the water lines, the filtration system is right there. I have sprayed foam all the way around the whole room in the cracks, letting that dry right now. And while I'm doing all this, and I'm gonna put insulation around. Those pipes go down into the ground over here in this board over here, and there's a lot of air that comes up through there and a little chilly. So I'm putting insulation around those pipes too, just to try to insulate them a little bit. Alright guys, we're almost ready to start drywall. We got our wall insulated, got our plastic up. Just exterior walls, you put up plastic. I don't know if it's a northern thing or what. I know you put house wrap on the other side. Some people argue, well, to create mold or kind of, you know, stuff like that. Man, when you're up here and you're in an older house, has a lot of drafts and stuff like that, you put plastic up like that, and then it will help seal it up so much. And I've never run into a mold problem or nothing like that. But you put plastic on any exterior wall like that, it really helps seal the place up. But we got all our studs. I had to put a new stud in here. The place that was built like this, there was a lot of studs that were not all the way to the floor, and then there was like other pieces shimmed in there and stuff. You know, just do it right. But I'm actually out of 2x4s, and I can't go anywhere to get one because the hardware store they don't have them there. But there's a lumber place in town, but they won't deal with me with the COVID stuff, so I can't go there and get them. So I'm having to, this is actually some 2x6s I had. This is the last 2x6 I had, and I've actually been cutting up some other ones. Those top ones and stuff, those were actually 2x6s that I've ripped out of here different places, and they were in good shape, and trimmed them down to 2x4 size. But I got this all framed out. This is going to be the pass-through from the dining to the kitchen. Open this up, and I can't put my spotlight deals that I put in the ceiling and I put in other rooms. They're 5 inches across, and this is 3.5. It's a width of a 2x4. It's 3.5. You put a 1/2 inch drywall on each side, that's 4.5. Those lights across are 5 inch, so you can't do that. I've actually looked online. I found some just like what I have, pretty close, and they're 3 inch. So those I'll be able to fit in here, and I'm actually going to put 2 of them in. I have the wire ran up. It's just sitting up in the attic above here, and I'll drill a hole later. But I'm going to drop this down because I'm going to have to drill up, because there's a can part that's on. It's not like those puck ones. It's got a can thing on top about that much. And I don't want to drill and take the strength out of this, the support that I have here. So I'm actually going to put a board across here, and I'm gonna put a board right across here, and now it'll give me, I'll drill through this, and maybe just a little bit, it'll be like a ½ an inch up into this, and then that's what those lights will fit up into. And then I'll just drill a hole all the way up into the attic, and that's where I'll feed the wires down through. So we are ready for drywall. One last thing is I am going to put the top sheets up first. And usually in houses you do this. You put drywall up horizontal. Unless putting it up vertical gets away from seams. And there's a couple spots where that's going to happen. Over here. See, this is under 4 feet. So that's 3 feet, 4 feet. It's going to be about here. And what's really nice is eight foot is actually to here. So it actually, we're going to have one horizontal, and then we're going to have one vertical, so we have no seams over here to repair the mud. And then we'll have one seam, we'll put it right here above the door. You never want to have a drywall seam. You never want to put a piece of drywall up and have it go up here, and have it go up here or whatever, and then put a piece up here. What happens is the house will settle. And when a house settles, if your drywall is even with door frames or windows or whatever, and then you tape them and mud them, as the house settles and moves a little bit, it always cracks. So if you look in your house or something, you see cracks up above windows, and that's what happened. Is the drywaller, he cheated. He didn't want to cut out of a piece of drywall this square, and what he did is he cheated, and he just ran a piece up here, and put a patch up there, and then mudded over top of the seams. But they will always crack. So you want to have a full piece of drywall that goes up, and you usually want to have the seam that's in between your windows. It's halfway in the windows or halfway in the doors. It's very important, otherwise you will get cracks. But we're going to put the top piece up first, and the reason why is the cabinets are going to be about here, and a 4-foot piece of drywall will be down here. So our actual seam is going to be behind the cabinets. So I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even really need to mud the seams. I probably will, just for make sure there's no gaps or anything. I'll probably just run a piece of, or just run a simple seam over, but I'm not really going to be too concerned about sanding it and getting it really perfect smooth. So I'm going to put the top sheet up first, like you should in a house anyways, and then put the bottom sheet on. That is going to make the seams, because if I did it the opposite way, then my seams would be here, which is the countertops are down here. So now you're going to see that seam, and you have to work on it. So I'm just thinking of what makes it easier. So I'm going to take my laser level, and I'm going to set it up here in the wall, and I'm going to measure down 4 feet basically from the ceiling down, and see how that works out. And because I know everything's not level, but I'm going to go 4 feet down, kind of make some marks, put my laser line on it, and see if I can get a 4-foot piece to kind of sit without cutting it all up and everything. And I'll put some blocks of wood, I'll just screw them onto the studs, so then I could take the sheet, because I'm by myself, and now I don't have to hold it up, and I can just put the sheets on the 2x4s on the walls, and you'll see it. Alright, so now see, all we need to do just like so. Like so. Well guys, when you're handling sheets like this, drywall, paneling, whatever, plywood, these things are really helpful. It's a panel carrier. If you're by yourself, like I am right now, it hooks on, it's got a little deal that keeps them sliding on, has a handle, and you just put it underneath the middle of the sheet, and then you can just pick it up with one hand, and the other hand you're just using it to hold it steady. So we're gonna bring our panel in here. Alright. There we go. We'll slide it on down. Get it set where we want. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark it right there. I actually put a mark up on the ceiling. You could do this. You could do it with measurements. I actually did measure down over here because sometimes the doors and stuff are not straight, door frames. So you just measure down quarters. That. There we go. That's what we're going to cut out. We can put our panel carrier back in here. Try to get it to tip towards us. There we go. I actually forgot to set up my sawhorses, but that's okay. I can get by without that. And I can just use my drywall saw. Like so. When you cut drywall, you want to have a sharp blade. But the other thing is that you want to, which I need to change my blade soon, but you want to cut the drywall on the white side. Basically all you're doing is just scoring the paper. The rock that hurt the rock in between the paper is actually very brittle. And the paper is what holds it together. You have your finished side or your white side, your non-finished, which is just like a brown paper. But you always want to score it from the white side. Because basically all we're doing here is just cutting the paper. You don't need to like press crazy in there and try to cut through half the drywall. Doesn't need to be perfectly straight because there's trim and stuff that's going over it. But a sharp blade is very beneficial in this. My blade needs to be changed. Oops, got weird. Okay, so now we just take it, just bend it over like so. And cut it the rest of the way. But see what happened? when you do that, sometimes when you cut through, you get these little tears in this paper here like this. Now, if you were to cut from the other side, you get those tears on the good side. That's hard. That you have to finish. And so then you got to drywall to try to patch it and blah, blah, blah and everything. So it's just easier. Makes it a lot easier with the mudding and sanding and stuff if you do it that way. You get a nice clean cut on that side. That side is kind of frayed and everything else. Now to mark where our outlets are, I use this way. And you basically will just lift the sheet back up. Put it back into position. We can check ourselves. Do we need to trim this at all? A little tiny bit right down here. You can use what's called a drywall rasp to do this. Now you can just run your blade down a couple times. Take this stuff right off. Okay, that looks good. Now to mark it, our outlet is right here. Basically, I'm just doing that, and our outlet I think is, I can't remember, it's I think it's on this one. We're going to do it here just to make sure. Now we can lift our sheet back off. And now we'll make a little indentation in the back of the drywall. Where it needs to be cut. You want to be careful of this, that you don't break this off. Yep, I can see it right there. This one I wasn't too sure on. I gotta get my light so I can see if I can see it better. Sometimes you gotta get a light.